90% of Amazon agencies suck. There, I said it. From someone who runs their own Amazon agency and who sold on Amazon myself. So how do you make the best decision in choosing a partner to trust your Amazon brand with? In this video, I'm going to go over exactly a few things you must ask your partner, whether it's me or anyone else, to make sure you choose the right partner in maximizing your growth on Amazon using products you built years making. 90% of agencies suck from someone who runs one themselves, okay? And I'll be the first to say it. They suck and they're bad at what they do. They claim big things, guarantees, outcomes, and this is how they're going to help you. But the number one thing is they're just not transparent, right? Not because they're not lazy, not because they don't work hard, but because they misunderstand how Amazon actually works. Like I said, I used to sell on Amazon myself. I had 2 to 3 products I launched. I lost 10,000 plus on this product itself. So I know how it feels like to waste money on PPC, have inventory left at the dock, and not knowing how to scale. So what I'm gonna share with you is, in theory, it's scars from a seller myself and working with dozens of sellers nowadays also. So the number one issue I see across so many sellers and agencies is that they don't understand your product and what makes you different. This is the biggest reason that they fail, okay? They live inside dashboards, look at ACoS, cost per click, ROAS, spend, revenue. Now, all of these numbers matter, 100%. We look at this stuff all day, dialed in with what you want. But on Amazon, the numbers are downstream of the product. That's when you get the sale. The number one thing is, how can we improve the funnel on top of how we get these customers? So if your partner doesn't understand why your product exists, what makes it better than the competition in the market, who it's actually aimed for, who is our intended customer profile, from everything, their age, demographic, skin color, ethnicity, what issue are they solving, what issue are they looking for, right? These are all things you want to look into. What outcomes the customers want. If they can't answer these questions, they can't explain your results or even improve how we can show it to customers. So as we know, Amazon is not just ads. It's a product marketplace driven by conversion, and we have to make sure we can maximize our conversion. So if an agency doesn't understand your product, or if it does, here are things they must look into. How we can improve your main images. How can we show more of your ICP, the main benefits of your product, and stand out from competition? In terms of our infographics, what makes our product stand out? What things can we show? What results? What before and after? What does the ideal customer actually want that they want from our product, right? Our copy. Does our copy reflect buyer motivation? Do we have our main keywords in our title that sell an outcome or what the product actually is? This also helps with our keyword targeting. When you run campaigns, now we have very high intent keywords that we know our product is built upon, right? More effective competitor targeting, another thing. All of this helps with higher conversion, not just more traffic. Now, if we want to take it down to another level, when we want to address a bottleneck in our system, the number one way we can do this is if we understand our product. What is the issue with in terms of conversion rate? Are we not selling a product? Are we targeting the wrong terms? Are we targeting the wrong demographics? Is a competitor doing something better that we aren't? This is all very, very important, okay? Now, in terms of us, how we do this, we have tons of forms that we make our customers fill out. So this is a product detail form. We make you fill out what's the product name, for example. If I can just go through, what's the product name? Next thing is, what's your URL? Obviously, you ask a bunch of more questions. What's your website? Now, it'll go into some specifics. Some competitors you can name, okay? Next thing is describe your product. So you as the founder, you know your product better than anybody else. I will not know it better than you, but we can use the information you give us to help tailor a strategy built around it. What is the main purpose? Very, very important. Keep on going. What problems does your product solve? Top features that your product has. I can keep going on for days. What are the core benefits? What are the core outcomes? So on and so forth. But you get the point. If your partner doesn't understand what your products are built around, what problem you're solving, why you differentiate from the competition, it's going to be very hard to help you scale to the levels that you want. Another issue why agencies fail partners is that they have one strategy for every product, which is a big mistake, because every different category has specific nuances that are very, very important for it. Now, let me explain further. If you're a brand that sells a supplement or consumable, we know the number one thing is you're not going to make your most money from your first time buyer. It's how we can get more repeat buyers, subscribe and save, lifetime value, and overall get more retention for the long term. So strategies need to be built around this. How can we get more awareness? How can we get more traffic to customers who don't know about our product? How can we put more packs into our listings to make sure repeat buyers have a better deal, right? Very, very important. Now, next thing, if you're selling a high ticket electronic product, we know we're looking for new to brand customers. We have to be very trustworthy, very authoritative, a lot of social proof on our listing, and overall get new customers consistently instead of focusing on repeat buyers. Now, if you're selling clothing, next thing is images, variations, psychology, who is the demographic in the images, how are they wearing the product, all sort of stuff. But if your agency uses the same playbook for all of these, that's a problem. You're not going to get the maximum results you want. So make sure you tailor with specific people. Now, if you have a look, there's a lot of agencies that specialize in just a few things. Some specialize in supplements, some specialize in electronics, some specialize in home goods, right? So it's very important who you want to work with. We work with brands from all categories, but we make sure that our strategy is aligned with your specific category, demographic, and the most important metrics to you. Now, big thing, really big thing right here, no real transparency. They just feed you BS in the most simplest term. Now, if you work with me, work with my team, I'm going to be fully transparent with you because, like I said, I was a seller myself. So I know, like, if something's not good, it's not good. If something can be improved upon, it can be improved upon. But if you just have a bunch of yes men, you're never going to hit the results you want and you're going to be frustrated. So we do the opposite, right? If your product isn't competitive, we feel like in the category, I'll tell you why that is. Your price is a little more expensive. You have way less reviews. Your images don't reflect your value, right? Because this is the hard truth that we need to in order to help you get the results that you want, right? If your pricing is way too high for your margins or what your competitors are priced at, I'll tell you why that is. If you have poor reviews, the quality on your product is an issue, so we need to improve that. If your expectations are unrealistic, I will tell you. But you can just see all the stuff. You need a partner who's fully transparent, like it's their own business. That's the number one thing. If they don't treat it like it's their own business and they're just here for a quick retainer, you're never going to scale to the level you want. Another thing is not having a clear timeline for growth. And this is where vagueness comes into play. Let's give it time. We need more data. We'll see how it goes. Time without direction is just expensive guessing. And this is because you also, as a business owner, have a lot of stuff to consider. Your logistics, how much inventory you have in stock, how much money you have for advertising, the different channels you're throwing money at, right? So it's very important to have a very structured guideline of when you can expect certain results and certain thresholds. So if they don't give you KPIs every week, if they're not constantly updating you every day, they're not getting on calls with you, it's a big issue, right? You want full transparency, whether the results are good or bad, right? Plenty of times for some of our clients, the results have not been hitting for some whatever reason. We'll still hop on a call and be fully transparent as to why that is, whether it's an issue on our end or it's an issue in the market or something is being too competitive and we can't compete. That's the number one thing. But to make sure that we are aligned on all things is the number one way we can come to a resolution to help you scale and reach your goals. A good partner will always make sure that you are aligned on your side of stuff. So including cash flow and logistics. For example, how much inventory you must carry, how fast you can reorder. So we make sure that our advertising budget isn't going too aggressive for how much inventory we have in stock, right? Because we do not want to have in stock. What happens if rankings spike faster than supply, right? All very important things. So how we do this is we have an onboarding form which goes over everything in detail. Your margins, your ideal ACoS, your goals, how long does it take to ship new inventory in the dock, timeline, your margins on your product priced. So we know every single metric so we can maneuver it in ways that we see that our strategies can align with your goals and help you hit it. Because if you're just doing this blindly, let's say you scale to whatever number, but you realized you were super cash flow negative, that's not effective strategy for you in your situation, right? So we make sure we are aligned with all of your stuff, and it's very important to fill out these forms so your team is always aligned with what you want as the brand owner. Another big thing is just working with one agency that specializes in one specific Amazon thing can be an issue. For example, a PPC only agency, SEO only, creative only. Now, why this is an issue is because Amazon is a full funnel where all things affect one another. If your creatives suck, your PPC performance is going to be poor. So if you work with only a PPC agency, they're not going to get you all the best results because your creatives are not bringing in higher click-through rate or higher conversion rate, which means your ad campaigns will be performing way worse. If you don't do SEO properly, your listing is not going to be recognizable for a lot of keywords, so you're not going to get a lot more search volume, even if you put in a lot more traffic to advertising. So it's very important you work with an agency that understands the entire funnel of Amazon, okay? How external traffic works, Amazon DSP, logistics, pricing, PPC, SEO, creatives, everything. All of this stuff really works because if we identify one bottleneck, you want to make sure your team can fix that right away. Instead of having to go to different parties and the communication is not aligned, they're not giving you exactly what the other team wants, stuff like this. So I'd rather you work with the agency that covers your entire Amazon channel. And one last point is that your agency has no ownership mentality. So bad agency will say we just manage your ads. A good agency will think this is our brand's money and this is our client's money, right? How can we put more money into their pocket? That's the number one thing. You don't want an agency you're just paying to maintain your sales or make a few $1,000s more a month. It's how you can hit that next level, right? And become financially free or focus on the next part of your business. So if your agency isn't protecting your money or your guidelines like it's their own, they're just spending it and it's not going to work out in the long term. So if you ever think about working with an Amazon agency, here's a quick checklist that you should ask them. Why would a customer buy my product first? They must understand your product and what makes it different in the market. What usually breaks scaling in my category? Another issue, right? So they know your thresholds. What does month 1 to month 3 actually look like for us and you as the brand owner? What are you looking for? Very, very important. And no vague, no unrealistic promises, right? That's the number one thing. If they can't answer questions like these clearly, walk away because it's going to be very hard to be transparent in your growth in the long term. So that is just a quick list of questions you should ask partners with on Amazon if you're looking to scale your brand. Obviously, we work with a lot of brands and we make sure we are dialed in on all of these things because every brand has very specific things and nuances in their category. So if you want to partner with me and my team, hit the link down below in the bio. It'll be a form you can fill out to see if you meet your requirements and whether you're in that stage yet of above like 40, 50,000 a month and you're trying to scale past those levels. And that's our ideal range. Hit the link down below, see if you're fit, and hopefully we talk soon.